school basketball is back on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel. Tonight from Royerton, Indiana, a battle of the unbeatens in the Hoosier Heritage Conference as the Mount Vernon Marauders take on the Delta Eagles. Good evening and hello again, everyone. Brian Beaver along with you again tonight. What a matchup we have for you this evening from northeastern Delaware County. Two teams that are unblemished in the league race. Mount Vernon at the top, 4-0 in the league, 8-4 overall, following last night's 2-point win, going down the stretch at the buzzer against Connorsville. Delta, right behind them, a half game back, 3-0 in the league, and an incredible 16-0 start for the number 3 in 3A Eagles of Mark Detweiler. He's had one other 16-game winning streak in his coaching career. It was 7 years ago at Union County. This would be a new high water mark for him in his coaching career tonight if Delta can cap this off with a victory. They won last night as well. Wapahani gave a stiff test to the Eagles in the first half. It was a 33-31 game at halftime, and then the Eagles blew the lid off again, outscoring the Raiders in the second half, 48-21, before going out of the gym with an 81-52 win. Their second one in 2 weeks against a really good, solid Wapahani ball club. This Delta team, if you've been doubting it, they're for real. They're pretty doggone good out here on State Road 28 and US 35. I talked to Mark Detweiler, a couple hours ago now, as the teams were just arriving and getting loose, and he said, I thought our kids played as well last night at both ends of the floor as they've played all season, and that should scare the bejesus out of the rest of 3A, because that's pretty high praise coming from a coach. They don't strut around with platitudes very often, but he was pretty happy with his kids' performance last night, and if they can just keep executing what they do, man, are they going to be a tough out in that 3A sectional down in Newcastle. We had an exciting JV game tonight, probably as good a JV game as I've seen in a long time. Mount Vernon led most of it, but Spencer St. John took over late, scored, I think, the final 7 points of the game for the Delta JV, and they win 45-44 on a St. John drive-in bucket with 3 seconds left in the game. He had a couple nice hoops, an incredible stick back down that stretch run for the JV Eagles. So maybe that sets the tone for what we're about to see here tonight. Ben Rhodes is in his first year head coaching anywhere at Mount Vernon. He was among the state's best assistant coaches for many years under Mark James, and most recently down at Ben Davis, and they had some fantastic teams together in their 2 stops coaching with each other, and Ben Rhodes is going to do some big things just east of Fortville, I've got a feeling, over the next few years. He inherited a pretty good team, 15-10 a year ago, sectional champions a year ago. He had scouted them many times, and he knew what he was walking into, and he said, it's the job I wanted. It wasn't just going to be any job for me. I knew which one I wanted. He got it. And look out, because he's got his kids playing pretty well. Beating Connorsville is no easy task, and they did it last night in a night where they got behind early by a lot and fought back and won the game, as I said earlier, on a shot at the buzzer along the baseline. So this should be every bit the league leader matchup that we expect it to be. The winner of this game will not win the title outright yet, but they'll be in the driver's seat with just a couple weeks to go. Delta with games, 3 more conference games ahead, but the big one there is going to be Newcastle. And Mount Vernon still has to play New Pal, who's lurking in the distance, not very far, with just 1 league loss behind both Mount Vernon and Delta. Marauders have come back on the floor. We're inside the 3-minute window before the start of this game tonight. This should be a great matchup. We're glad to have you along. Wherever you're listening, whether it's down the road, across the state, or somewhere else in the county or country, or even another continent. We've had people listening on the other side of the world at times. So it's a very cool technology. We're glad to be able to bring you this one tonight on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel. Delta on the floor now. The teams are finishing up their warm-up periods. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll set up the starting lineups and have the opening tip of this one. It's Mount Vernon and Delta coming up next on Beaver Media and on the Delco Preps channel. You stay right there.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in Indiana so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Who do I swim for? I swim on my high school team for my mom, who gets up at 5 o'clock every morning to take me to practice.
I swim for hugs from my teammates, spaghetti dinners, and my lucky neon green goggles.
I swim for Coach Murray, who pushes me to dig deep and finish strong.
More than 7.7 million American teenagers participate in high school sports every year, including about 152,000 here in Indiana. They're all learning essential life lessons, like the importance of hard work, time management, and self-discipline, skills that are helping them become better leaders and more active, responsible citizens.
Most of all, I swim for myself, because I learn more about who I am and who I want to be every time I dive into the pool. That's who I swim for.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
A wintry Friday night. A packed gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community. Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to Delta High School. Brian Beaver along with you. We've had the Star-Spangled Banner during our break while we were away, and the teams are being introduced on the floor. Here's how they'll run them out and start them tonight. First, for the Mount Vernon Marauders of head coach Ben Rhodes. 8-4 on the year, 4-0 in the league. It'll be Brandon Bell, a 6'2 junior, averaging 9.8 a game. Keith Rupert, a 6-foot senior, averaging 7.4 points and 3.8 assists per game. He's the engine that drives the offense. Peyton Metters, a 6'4 senior, their leading scorer, averaging 18.3. These are all numbers going into last night's game. Neither team is updated yet. Cade Gentry, a 6'1 senior, averaging 12.4 per game. And the fifth starter for Mount Vernon will be Max Burren. He's a 6'5 senior, scoring almost nothing per game over the season. For the Delta Eagles of Mark Detweiler, 16-0, 3-0 in the league, number 3 in the AP 3A poll this week, with a first place vote for the second week in a row. Zach Garner will start, 5'10 junior point guard, averaging 2.8 points, 3.2 assists a game. Josh Bryan, the Eagles' leading scorer, a 6'3 senior, 24.7 points a game. Again, these are before Friday night's games in terms of the stats. He had 22 last night. Tyler Wilburn, a 6'3 senior, averaging 11.1 per game. He's playing great right now. Josh Greenberg, a 5'11 junior, averaging 7.1, but capable of 3 times that on any night. And the fifth starter for Delta, their tower of power, the inside game. Brady Hunt, 6'5 and a sophomore, 11.9 points a game for his head coach, Mark Detweiler. Great crowd has funneled in here tonight. The lower bowl is full. The upper bowl is about half full. So we've got a couple thousand people in here tonight to watch what should be a great basketball game here in Royerton. Glad to have you along. Thanks for loaning me your ears for a couple hours. Drop me a note on Twitter at Delco Preps, or leave me a message on YouTube. Love to know where you're listening tonight. In the center circle, it's Byrne to jump it up for Mount Vernon, Hunt to jump for Delta. The official is in the circle. He's got him set. Here's the toss. The tip controlled on a back tip to Mount Vernon in the back court. And they'll bring it across the timeline. Keith Rupert, the point guard. They work it out on the wing and now swing it out on top. Metters has it out on top, guarded closely by Greenberg. Delta showing a little bit of 2-3 zone to start the night. Rupert works it near wing. That's Bell. Gentry back to Bell. Thought about a 3. He'll dribble between the circles. Now works it on the wing to Rupert. Cross-court pass. Again, trying to set up the 3 by Bell, but they couldn't do it. Now they swing it to the corner. Now out to Gentry, back to Metters in the corner. Dribbles out to the wing. Looks at the defense. Here's a drive by Gentry. Good defense. Cut him off by Zach Garner. Very persistent here offensively. The jump shot from 10 feet is no good by Gentry. Delta's first possession of the night, coming up a minute into the game. Man-to-man defensively for the Marauders. It's Brady Hunt with the ball, way out on top. He'll swing it to Wilburn on the wing. Now back out on top to Bryan. Guarded closely. One dribble. He works it here to the wing and now the corner to Zach Garner. Garner dribbles out toward the top of the key. Now to the wing. Now takes it down near the corner. Goes baseline, spins out of it. Looks down low. Feeds Hunt. One dribble. Fires. No, he throws it away. He changed his mind in midair and thankfully got bailed out as Mount Vernon cut off the passing lane and knocked it out of bounds. 6:30 of the first quarter. Just underway. Delta inbound play on the baseline. Bryan will trigger in way out on top to Hunt. Wilburn, free for 3. Fires. Hits. Good start for Delta. Wilburn bangs home the triple. 3-0 Delta. A minute 40 into the game. Here comes Rupert across the timeline. They're on the near end of the floor, right in front of me. Marauders wearing gray tonight. Rupert, the point guard, works it on the wing to Metters. Metters gets it to Bell. Bell will work it to the wing now. Now inside the paint to Rupert, works near corner. Here's a drive, knocked away, stolen away by Delta. Long lead pass is knocked out of bounds. It goes into the Mount Vernon bench. One official didn't see it because he was right in the middle of the play. Not his fault. That just it came and went. So Delta catches a break. They'll get the ball right in front of the Mount Vernon bench. They bring it into the backcourt. Garner will bring it across the timeline as he's picked up at midcourt by Rupert. Here's Bryan driving baseline, pulling up, firing, hitting a 15-footer. Josh Bryan has his first bucket. It's 5-0 Delta with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Good start, both ends of the floor for the Eagles. They've forced a turnover. They've gotten a couple of good looks and they've knocked them out. Here's a drive. Gentry firing, hitting. Beautiful move by Cade Gentry. His first two has Mount Vernon on the board, and it's a 5-2 contest. Quickly the other way. Brian pulls up, fires, splash. Josh is 2 for 2. He has 4, and it's 7-2 Delta with 5:08 to go first quarter. This is a tournament feel game right here tonight. You can feel it in the crowd, you can hear it in the crowd, and you can see it in these players. Mount Vernon attacking, trailing by 5 as we hit the middle part of period number 1. On the wing with it is the point guard, Rupert. Couple of pretty good point guards in this game. Metters has it out on top. Rupert on the far wing. Couple dribbles back to Metters. Out on top. He'll try a 3. He'll miss. Rebound Gentry. He tracks it down. Offensive glass for Mount Vernon. They'll get another shot. Rupert guarded by Garner. Rupert takes it to the free throw line. Works it on the wing to Bell. Bell circles back the other way. Now to Metters on the wing. Delta in a little bit of a matchup here out on top. Here's a drive to the paint. Shot forced up. We've got a whistle. Is it going to be a foul or a travel? It's going to be a foul against Delta. Josh Greenberg, I believe, is the guilty party. It is Josh Greenberg, his first, game's first. It's going to be an active shooting foul. Peyton Metters going to the stripe for the Marauders. Their leading scorer, his first chance to put a point on the board tonight. It's on the way, and it's good. He'll get another one. Makes it a 7-3 game. This is a very good free throw shooting team from Mount Vernon. They shoot about 80% as a team. Second one up, also good. Metters, 2 for 2 trip. Pair of points for him. 7-4 game. Delta holding the ball and the lead. Garner will bring it across the timeline. They've got it on top to Wilburn now, far wing to Greenberg. High post to Hunt. One dribble, he'll give it back out. Wilburn thought about a pick, didn't use it. Here's Brian. Hunt, free for a 3. He cocks and fires, can't get it. Rebound brought down by Mount Vernon. Here they come quickly. Metters with a head of steam, going all the way to the basket. He walked and got away with it. He lays it in. He took 3 steps, not 2. But they let it go. That's the new game, folks. And it's 7-6. If you're here in the gym, you'll know what I mean. Here's Wilburn driving the paint. Double team, forces it up. Got it! Over 2 men. Wilburn with an assertive move to make it 9-6. Give him 5 points on the night already. And with 3:25 to go in the first quarter, it's 9-6 Delta. But Mount Vernon can tie on this trip if they can dip a triple. Here's Bell. Thought about the 3. Couldn't get it on the way. Metters out on top. Rupert far wing now in the corner. Gentry fires. Can't get the 3. Rebound by Wilburn of Delta. Eagles will slow things down a little bit, bringing it across the timeline. Greenberg on the wing, behind a pick, takes it to the corner of the key, picks up his dribble on the baseline, needs help, gets it back to Hunt. Hunt drives, forces it up, can't get it. Rebound, Mount Vernon. Give the board to Max Burren. Here comes Rupert quickly. He'll give it to Gentry. Gentry to Rupert out on top, guarded closely by Greenberg. We're down to 2:40 to go, first quarter. Rupert drives, feeds baseline, pretty dime. Metters picks up the bucket for his 6th point. Great feed by Rupert. And we're down to a 1-point game now at 9-8. Good job coming back by the Marauders. 2:20 to go, first quarter. In the forward court, Delta on the attack. Brian has it out near the volleyball attack line. Dribbles between his legs. Picks it up, looks for help. Gets to Wilburn on the far wing. Matchup again, this time defensively by Mount Vernon. Hunt has it behind the arc, left corner. He'll dribble out toward the top. Gives off to Brian. He threw it away, but thankfully for Delta, Greenberg picks it up. Keeps the possession alive. Greenberg drives the paint. Stops. Fires. Can't get the roll. Delta gets the rebound. They'll take another chance. Wilburn driving, scooping, firing. He's not going to get the bucket, but he will get the free throws on a Mount Vernon foul. Looks like Max Byrne is going to be the offender, and it is. His first, team's first. Going to the line is Tyler Wilburn. He'll shoot a pair. First one up, first one no good. Checking in a couple of men going in, one for each team. Going to be Ryan Morris in the game for Mount Vernon, and Bedwell in the game for the first time tonight for Delta. Second free throw is up and good. 6 points in the game by Wilburn on a 1 out of 2 trip, and it's 10-8. Delta out in front. Minute 40 left in this exciting first period. Delta man-to-man this trip. Rupert recognizes it, sets his offense. Metters gets it to Rupert behind the arc, guarded closely by Zach Garner. He is a glove defensively. Feed down low, it's thrown away. Rupert thought that Byrne was going to roll to the hoop. He didn't, and he threw it out of bounds along the baseline. That's the second turnover of the game for Mount Vernon. A couple of Marauders will check in here late in the period. It's going to be Eric Hurd and Cade Gentry back in. Delta working it with a 10-8 lead. Here's Hunt driving all the way to the glass, plays it up, got it! We'll see if they count the basket. It should be a hoop and harm, and the basket is good. Beautiful finish that time by Brady Hunt, his first bucket of the night. Cade Gentry picks up the foul for Mount Vernon. So Hunt with a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play on a pretty drive and finish. Free throw is no good. Broadcaster kiss of death. Happens a lot. 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Mount Vernon with the ball trailing 12-8. Gentry on the wing. Out on top to Bell. Guarded closely by Bedwell. Now on the wing to Gentry. They swing it to the corner to Metters. Metters gets it to Rupert and he walked. Started his move before he put the ball on the floor. That's the third turnover by Mount Vernon here in the first quarter. Won't say Delta has none yet because that would jinx them. 52 seconds to go in the period. We'll see if Delta plays for the final shot by burning the clock or if they try to get a 2-for-1 here NBA style. Low post feed to Hunt. Out here on the wing. Three-pointer up from a wide open Bedwell, no good, and we've got a loose ball foul on the rebound battle. It'll be against Delta. Tyler Wilburn commits the foul for Delta. That's his first, second on the team. And Mount Vernon will bring it the length of the floor with 38 seconds to go in the first period. It's a 12-8 contest. Coming across the timeline with it is Eric Hurd, now playing the point. Clock down to 25. Hurd drives it, kicks to the wing. Bell takes it inside. Shooting, hitting. Beautiful move by Bell to make it a 12-10 game. Final 10 seconds of the period. Here comes Delta. Josh Bryant slow walking it across the timeline. Clock down to 5. Bryant still with it. He's going to pull up a long three. Good! Josh Bryant hits from near the volleyball line. He has 7 points in the first period. Delta leads after 1. We go to the break. It's the Eagles 15, the Marauders 10 on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel. You stay right there.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the ball game. We move to the second quarter. Delta out in front of Mount Vernon 15-10. Quick look at first quarter scoring. Delta, Josh Bryan 7 points. Tyler Wilburn with 6 to lead the way. Peyton Metters with 6 points to lead the way for the Marauders. So we're set to go. Second quarter begins with Delta holding the ball. Here they come with it. Way out on top near the Big D logo is Zach Garner. Man-to-man defense by Mount Vernon. Greenberg drives into the paint, tries to force one up. It's blocked away. Here comes Mount Vernon. Ball in the hands of Brandon Bell. Gets off to Ryan Morris. Now they've got it on the near wing as Bell tries to use a screen to free himself up and can't do it. Metters behind a screen. Three-pointer good. Peyton Metters, 9 points already for him. It's a 15-13 game. Back to one possession. Might be that way most of the night. Delta with the ball. Garner feeds the wing. Bedwell drives between a double team, lays it up, can't get it. Follow no good. Here's a whistle and a loose ball foul. It's going to be against the Eagles. Give the personal foul to Connor Bedwell. His first, the third on the team. Wes Wooden also in the game for the first time tonight for Delta. 6:45 to go before halftime. It's a 15-13 game. Mount Vernon has never led, and we've never been tied. But they could do both on this trip. Not now. They throw it away again. 4 turnovers. Boy, have they hurt. Nice feed under the basket. It's laid up. It's in! Garner hit Wooden on the fly down the lane. He gets the bucket on the bunny, and it'll count. He'll go to the line. Wow. Nice dime by Zach Garner. Wooden going to the stripe. 17-13 game. He'll try to make it 18. The old-fashioned three-point play. Free throw was good. He got it. Give him the triple dip. 18-13, the lead back to 5 points like it was at the end of the period. Mount Vernon on the attack, moving it right to left across your imagination. They've got it out on top now in the corner to Hurd. Hurd, couple dribbles. Up near the timeline, gives off to Metters. Metters works it out on top to Gentry. Gentry back to Hurd. Hurd, cross-court pass. Bell fires for 3. Too strong. Rebound, Bedwell for Delta. Long lead pass, he threw it away. I saw him. He was going to be tempted, and he threw it away for Delta's first turnover. Here comes Bell driving for Mount Vernon. Lays it up. Can't get it. Rebound. Comes down to the Marauders. Stolen away by Bedwell. Terrific job with the hands by Bedwell. Delta takes it to the forecourt. They're in business offensively. Greenberg drives, feeds baseline. Now back out to the free throw line. Out on the wing all alone. Greenberg 3, no good. Rebound battle. Comes down to Hunt. They'll try it again. Greenberg gets to Bryan. Bryan open. Three-pointer is off the mark right. Follow-up is no good this time. Nice rebound work defensively on the glass by the Marauders. Wow. We've got a whistle and a timeout. Mount Vernon says, bring it over here, boys. First timeout taken in the game. Is it going to be a full or a 60? We can't tell yet. Okay. We're going to take the break with them. 5:19 to go in the first half. It's Delta 18, Mount Vernon 13 on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
Everybody loves a good sports movie.
I've seen Rudy 10 times.
I love Hoosiers.
If there were a sports movie about steroids, it might be called The Myth, The Truth, and the Consequences. The myth is that steroids are good for your game. The truth is they're bad for you and the sport you play. And the long-term consequences on your health are downright ugly.
That's one movie I think I'll skip.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to Delta High School. Brian Beaver along with you in an 18-13 game with 5:14 to go first half. Delta out in front of Mount Vernon in a battle of Hoosier Heritage Conference unbeatens. Marauders at 4-0, Delta right behind on their heels at 3-0. Delta has led the entire game. Mount Vernon attacking here in the near forecourt. Delta still matching up defensively. Here's Gentry driving and throwing it away right into the Delta student section known as the Blue Crew. That is the 6th turnover unofficially in the first half by Mount Vernon compared to 1 unofficially for Delta. Bedwell will check out. Going back into the game for the first time in his place is Sam Cox. So Delta has Greenberg, Hunt, Bryan, Wilburn, and Cox out there. Looking to run the backdoor lob. Now looking to feed in the post to Hunt. He better get out of the lane. Greenberg now to the right corner. Cross-court pass from Brian to Hunt. Tees up a three. Can't get it. Rebound comes down to Metters of Mount Vernon. One and done that trip for the Eagles. Good job defensively on the glass by the Marauders. Metters drives inside. We're going to have a push foul defensively against Delta. They're going to give that foul to Josh Greenberg. That's 2 on him. 4th on the team. Common foul, inbound play right underneath me along the baseline. Got to hurry and get it in. Finally, it comes into Bell with 4 on the count. Gentry with it. Pulls up baseline. Far side. Bangs it home. Gentry with that beautiful left-handed shot. And it's 18-15. Delta throws the ball nearly away. It was tipped out of bounds. Ends up in front of the Delta bench. Mount Vernon doing a good job of just hanging around like a bad cold in a 3-point game midway through the second quarter at the 4-minute mark. Garner gives off to Wilburn. Wilburn dribbles toward the near side. Now they run the weave. Bryan hands it to Garner. Right back to Bryan. Jab step. Step back three. God! 10 points for Josh Bryan. Make it 21-15 Delta. You could smell that one coming as soon as the defender went underneath. It was over. Now Gentry on the other end. Tries a three from Mount Vernon. It won't go. Bryan with the board. He runs down the court quickly. Steps back. Fires three. Got it again! Josh Bryan putting on a show. 13 points. Biggest lead of the game for Delta at 24-15. 2 triples in a row. By the fantastic senior guard, Josh Bryan. Wow, the crowd comes to life. You can hear him in the background. Thrown away by Mount Vernon. Turnover, their 7th. Bryan has it again. Has it knocked away. It's on the floor. 3 guys are on it. Here's the official jump ball now. We'll see who the possession arrow points to. I think it's going to be Mount Vernon, and it is Mount Vernon. So the Marauders managed to get a stop down there. They've got another player checking in the game. Jacob Frank going in the game for the Marauders with 2:59 to go before halftime. It's a 24-15 Delta lead. Slowly walking it across midcourt, Keith Rupert. Pretty good guard. Looking for the pick. Drives to the paint. Has it knocked away. Turnover. Here comes Delta. 8 turnovers, costly ones, in the first half by Mount Vernon. Wilburn fakes a three. Gets his man to lose his jockstrap. Drives it. Tries to feed the low post. It hits Hunt. Then a defender trickles along the line and goes out of bounds. Delta ball. Delta is number 1 in the state in 3A in steals per game, and they're showing you why tonight. They've got a timeout by Delta. Mark Detweiler says, give me a 30-second break. 2:35 to go in the second quarter. Mount Vernon goes to its bench at the far end. Delta right under me. 24-15 Eagles lead here at a raucous Delta gym. And I got to tell you, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. I always do. The guys here at Delta are among the best anywhere. The AD, Grant Zagana, Chris Conley, the principal. The wrestling sectional was in this gym this morning and afternoon, and they didn't have a lot of time to get this thing ready for basketball, but they did a really nice job getting it cleaned up and getting it ready for an entirely different sport. So kudos to the guys in the front office here at Delta. We're about set to resume play. 24-15 with 2:35 to go, second quarter. Mount Vernon defending Delta in the forecourt. Josh Bryan open for three. He'll fire it. He'll hit it! 3 straight triples! Josh Bryan was 16 in the game. 27-15. It's a 12-point Delta lead, the biggest of the contest. They're putting on a show right now. There are some doubters about this team. Are they really that good? Well, show up and watch. You'll see. Mount Vernon trying to find a shot. Bell has been quiet. He's got the ball. He'll feed now on the wing to Rupert. They'll swing it near side to Bell on the wing. He can't find a shot on that ball movement across the court. Rupert has it, right wing, looking to feed the post. Nobody open. Now it's the Bell here on the near wing. He'll dribble back out to the volleyball line. In the corner, three-pointer on the way. It's an air ball, no good, too strong by Jacob Frank. Here comes Delta with a 27-15 lead. 1:35 to go in the second quarter. Josh Bryan. He's hit 3 triples in a row. He feeds a cutter. It's Hunt, who can't get the bucket, but he'll go to the free throw line. Nice ball movement by the Eagles. Mount Vernon foul, I think, is going to be on Keith Rupert. Let's wait for him to put it up. It is on Rupert. His first, 4th on the team. Going to the stripe, Brady Hunt, and he hits the first one. 3 points in the contest. He'll shoot another one. 28-15. 13-point lead for Delta in this one. I did not expect this game to be a blowout, and it still may not be, but right now it is. Hunt hits them both. 4 points, 2 out of 2 at the stripe there, and it's 29-15. Mount Vernon has a lot of work to do, but they're not out of it yet. There's a long way to go. They're a good team. Working for a shot, can't find one. It's way out on top near the timeline. Bell swings it here near side to Rupert, guarded by Bryan. Now out on top, they'll swing it to the far side, back to Bell. He'll dribble out on top. They try to work the perimeter game. It's in Bell's hands on the far wing. Left-hand dribble now out on top. Out on top to Morris, who hit the game-winning shot last night at Connorsville, against Connorsville. Morris has it, knocked out of his hands. He picks it up. Mount Vernon is very, very patient here. And every time Morris touches it, he's going to get static right there in front of the Delta students for shooting the air ball. You hear the defense? Appreciation from the crowd. Clock down to 30 seconds to go before halftime. 14-point trailers are Mount Vernon. They look like they're going to hold it and play a la Bobby Plump for the final shot of the half. Standing out near the timeline in the D logo, it's Rupert. Rupert, clock down to 12 now. He says, take it easy to his teammates. Now they'll start their offense with 10. It's out on top. Morris, now to Rupert. Works it near side. Bell, clock down to 2. He's got a fire. 3-pointer on the way. Hit it! That's called clutch shooting right there. Brandon Bell buries the triple from the wing just before the buzzer. And that'll bring us to halftime. What a great game so far. They go to the locker rooms at intermission. It's Delta 29, Mount Vernon 18. Back with a halftime show after this timeout on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel. Stay right there.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Who do I play high school softball for? I play for my mom and dad who've never missed a game.
Whether they're playing for their teammates, their classmates, or their community, high school student athletes in Indiana learn important lessons they'll use for the rest of their lives, like respect for the rules and the value of hard work and sacrifice. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. A crisp October evening, a stadium filled with fans, a pass-through, a journey completed. State of euphoria? No, the state of Indiana. High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community. The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to the ball game. We're at halftime here in Royerton, suburban Royerton, suburban DeSoto, suburban Eaton. Take your pick. It's been a good first half for the Delta Eagles as they lead at halftime over Mount Vernon, 29-18. At the end of a quarter, it was Delta out in front of the Marauders 15-10. Delta outscores Mount Vernon 14-8 in the second quarter, so another single-digit defensive effort in a quarter this season by Delta. Last night they held Wapahani to 7 in the third quarter of that game. These guys aren't just shooters, and they're pretty good at that. They can also defend the you-know-what out of it. They've led from start to finish. The turnover battle has been heavily in favor of Delta. Mount Vernon unofficially with 8 turnovers, costly ones in the first half. I've got Delta for 1 unofficial turnover in that first 16 minutes of basketball. This is nowhere near being over at 11 points at halftime. You got to give some credit for momentum for Brandon Bell, who stepped up and hit an ice water 3 right there before the buzzer. The Marauders did a beautiful job of milking that clock down and got the open shot, contested but open, on the wing, and Bell dropped it in the net and sent his team to the locker room with a little bit of a boost. If you come up empty there, it's 29-15, and you go thud into the intermission. But he gave him a little spark. We'll see if that helps him here in the second half. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll recap the first half scoring numbers for you on Delco Prep's channel. Stay right there.
The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Everybody loves a good sports movie.
I've seen Rudy 10 times.
I love Hoosiers.
If there were a sports movie about steroids, it might be called The Myth, the Truth, and the Consequences. The myth is that steroids are good for your game. The truth is they're bad for you and the sport you play. And the long-term consequences on your health are downright ugly.
That's one movie I think I'll skip.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. A wintry Friday night. A packed gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Brian Beaver back with you from Delta High School. We're headed for third quarter action in just a few moments. Let's recap the first half scoring for you. It's not going to take long They've only had just a handful of players on either team score any points tonight. First for Delta, Josh Bryan, 16 points in the first half. His last 4 buckets have been triples. He hit 3 of those in a row. Bam, 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 like right hooks to the face in the second quarter for Delta. So he's the high water man in the game. Tyler Wilburn with 6 points, 4 points for Brady Hunt, and a 3-point play off the bench for Wesley Wooden, and that accounts for all of Delta's 29 points in the first half. For Mount Vernon, Peyton Metters, their leading scorer for the season, also their leading scorer in the game tonight. He'll go to the locker room with 9 points in the contest. Brandon Bell, who hit that triple right before the first half buzzer, has 5, and 4 for Cade Gentry. You look at the guys who have played and not scored. For Mount Vernon, Rupert has played and not scored. Burren started, hasn't scored. Ryan Morse, Eric Hurd, and Jacob Frank off the bench haven't scored. I think only 5 players from Mount Vernon scored in their game last night when they beat Connorsville by 2, but that's enough to win. But you really want more diversity in your offense if you can get it for both teams right now. A lot of guys are carrying a little more of the load than they probably want to. So, for Delta, Zach Garner has started, didn't score, but man, does he play defense. Josh Greenberg started, hasn't scored. Connor Bedwell off the bench without a point. And Sam Cox off the bench without a point for Delta. In terms of foul trouble, there really isn't any. No one got to the bonus in the first half. I only see one Delta Eagle with 2 fouls, and it's Josh Greenberg. And as I look down the score sheet real quickly for Mount Vernon, I think they only committed 4 fouls themselves, and they don't have anybody with more than 1 for Coach Ben Rhodes, who, by the way, said his wife was going to listen if he could get her the info. So if you're listening, hey, thanks. Appreciate it. You got quite a good team. You guys are going to do a lot of good things down in Fortville. Teams are out to warm up. We should be headed for the action very quickly. We'll take one quick timeout and back to set up the third quarter on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the ball game. We're just about set to go. Here in the third quarter, we'll flip the floor. Delta wearing the home whites with gold lettering and blue trim. We'll bring it right at me. The broadcast location here is on the corner of the court, but it's on the end line, so I'm literally 15 feet horizontally from the Delta bench. Eagles have the ball. Josh Bryan will work it to Greenberg. Man-to-man defensively by Mount Vernon. Greenberg driving, now feeds high post to Hunt. Turns, one dribble, up and under fake, now out on the wing. Bryan gives it up on the near wing to Greenberg. Hunt, high post, looks to feed down low. He'll drive it instead. Spins, gets out on top to Wilburn. Now in the corner, Greenberg three-pointer on the way. Good! Josh Greenberg opens his half with a triple and the biggest lead of the night at 32-18 as Delta opens with a tray. Mount Vernon going back to work on the other end. Bell gives off on a drive to Gentry. He banks it in from about 8 feet out. Nice drive, nice finish by Cade Gentry to make it 32-20 Delta. Eagles have it here in the near court. Wilburn to Hunt on top. Hunt, Bryan, wing three, rattles out no good. Rebound loose. It's picked up and laid in by Greenberg. Josh has a quick 5-point burst to make it 34-20 here, starting the third quarter. Mount Vernon with a hill to climb, trailing by 14 now. Minute and a half into the third period. Rupert has it, gets the bell on top now near side wing. Gentry tries to drive. Now a whistle and a loose ball foul. It's going to be against Delta. Delta foul is going to be on Tyler Wilburn. That's 2 on him. Baseline inbounds play. Comes in. Metters, left-handed bunny, about 8 feet out, and he's got it for his 11th point. And it's 34-22. Delta with the lead, Delta with the ball. Zach Garner with it on the point. Out between the rings. Now on the wing to Hunt. He'll drive to the paint. Tries to feed baseline, throws it away. Turnover Delta. Quickly the other way. Metters, long one. Missed it. It was a 2. He stepped on the line. Rebound Josh Bryan. Here he comes quickly. Going all the way to the hole. Feeds underneath. Reverse lay-in good. Zach Garner. Beautiful drive and finish there. Nice dime from Bryan. 36-22 game. Delta looks really sharp tonight against a very good team. Gentry has it on the wing. Throws it away out on top. Turnover by the Marauders. Bryan has the ball. They better stop him. He pulls up from the free throw line. Fakes, fires, got it. 14-footer good. What did I tell you? 38-22. That's the biggest lead of the night at 16. And we've got a whistle and a timeout by Mount Vernon. Ben Rhodes says, get over here. We got to talk. 5:18 to go, third quarter. It's Delta 38, Mount Vernon 22 on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Delta has come roaring out of the chute here in the second half, a 38-22 game. They've scored 9 quick points to 4 by Mount Vernon in less than 3 minutes. And that got Ben Rhodes off his bench and taken a full timeout with 5:18 to go here in quarter number 3. Delta has played great. Only 2 turnovers in the game. Mount Vernon, by comparison, 9. And Delta is as good a team defensively as they are offensively. A lot of people think, they're just shooters, but, man, they can defend. So inbounds from the far sideline in the backcourt. Mount Vernon brings it in, and they'll go to work offensively. They've got it on the wing to Bell. Delta showing some 2-3 matchup zone look here. Bell dribbles to the top of the key. Can't find anything. Gentry in the corner now on the wing to Rupert. They'll swing it far side to Bell. Bell tries to drive it. Now gets it here on the near wing. That's Metters. Feeds high post to Rupert. Now on the wing. Three-pointer on the way short. Rebound Mount Vernon. Rupert's going to fire it, and he rattles it in. Keith Rupert gets his first bucket of the night, and we've got a whistle. Referees call timeout to take something off the floor for player safety. Not sure where. It was the cap that holds the volleyball support in there. Came out of the floor. One of the players must have hit it at an angle going down, popped that out of the floor. We're all good now. Back to work. 38-24 game. Delta with the lead in the ball. Here's a drive by Wilburn. Feeds out here for a 3. It's good from the corner. Brady Hunt. 7 for him. 41-24. What a game for Delta. They're playing fantastic. Hunt, by the way, was 7 in the game. On the other end, Bell fires a 3. It's off the back iron high. Mount Vernon with a nice offensive rebound by Gentry. Corner of the key jumper up and good. Rupert with back-to-back hoops for his team to make it 41-26, and this one's not over. Don't go away. Plenty of time left. Just under the 4-minute mark in the third quarter. Josh Bryan drives, has it knocked away. It's a turnover for Delta, and I think a foul on frustration in the backcourt against the Eagles as well. Give the foul, frustration version to Josh Bryan, who let the dribble go too far away from his body, and it was Stolen away by Rupert. Well done by him. Second foul in the second half against Delta. Mount Vernon hasn't committed a foul yet. We're under the 4-minute mark. 41-26. Eagles out in front by 15. Eagles attacking on defense. Mount Vernon very patient offensively. 35 feet from the basket on the wing on the dribble is Brandon Bell. He gets off to the backcourt mate, Rupert, on the far wing. Now Metters has it. Metters has had kind of a quiet 11-point night. Here's a three on the way from Rupert, and he missed it. Bedwell with the board for Delta. He'll bring it down the floor quickly. Here's a pass to Bryan. He's going to drive it. Feeds the wing. Garner gives it back to Bryan. Jab step. Drives. Fires. Fouled. He got mugged. He's okay. Should be a shooting foul. Give the foul to Ryan Morris of Mount Vernon. The first one on him. They're going to call it a common foul. Wow. That was kind. Delta will inbound here on the baseline. Bedwell, the trigger man, comes into Greenberg. Out on top to Garner. Garner guarded by Bell. He'll drive off the pick. Feed on the wing to Hunt. Hunt takes it to the paint. Gets it out here behind the arc to Greenberg. He'll drive inside. Gets cut off. He'll fire anyway. Offensive foul. They're going to call Greenberg for a charge. Good call. That's 3 on Greenberg. That's trouble for him. Third on the team. It's a Delta turnover as well. They're fourth in the game. 2:45 to go. Period number 3. Eagles out in front of the Marauders. 41-26. Metters trying to change that with a 3. Grazed the front iron. No good. Hunt with the rebound for the Eagles. He'll bring it down the floor himself. This is a talented 6'5 kid. He can play out on the wing. He's not just a post man. Hunt drives, jumps, fires, banks it in. Brady Hunt makes me look clairvoyant. Give him 9 points in the game. And 43-26, and another timeout taken by Ben Rhodes of Mount Vernon. We'll take the break with him. 2:18 left in the third quarter. Delta 43, Mount Vernon 26 on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's Delta 43, Mount Vernon 26 as play resumes coming out of the Mount Vernon timeout. Marauders have used 3 timeouts. Delta has taken 1. So the Marauders will bring it inbounds from the sideline across the way in the backcourt, trailing 43-26 with 2:15 remaining in period number 3. Nearly thrown away. Metters has it out on top. They'll drive to the paint. Circus shot. Bank no good. Offensive rebound inside. Forced up. No good again. This time a rebound by Bedwell. Off the miss that time by Morris. Feet underneath. Laid up. In! Assist for Bryan. Bucket for Bedwell. Terrifically done. First 2 of the night for Bedwell to make it 45-26. It's a 19-point game. And we've got a foul out on the floor defensively against Delta. Give the foul to Connor Bedwell. 2 on him. Common foul. Baseline inbounds play for the Marauders with Gentry to trigger. Way out on top. Gives it to Bell. Bell drives it. Feeds underneath. Threw it away. Another Delta steal. Long pass ahead. Bryan lays it up. He's fouled. Shot didn't go, but Bryan going back to the line. On the shooting foul. Good defensive hustle to stop the layup, but these are almost certain. Give the foul to Peyton Metters. His first, second on the Marauders. Shooting a pair of free throws, Josh Deadeye Bryan. First one good. $19 points for Bryan already. He'll look for another. Up, good. Oh, it rattled out. Oh, my Lord. I looked away too quickly. It was halfway down and came out. My apologies. 46-26. 20-point lead. That's what I get for calling him dead on. Mount Vernon goes back to work. They've got it on top. Gentry. One hand pass to the corner to Rupert. Rupert back out on top, 40 feet from the bucket to Metters. Metters guarded by Cox. He'll drive inside, pulls up, fires, banks in a little 8-footer with his left hand. 13 points in the game for Metters to make it 46-28. Delta goes back to work offensively. Under a minute to go, third quarter. See if they're tempted to try a 2-for-1 or go one shot. Nope, they're going to spin and fire. They didn't take their time. Rebound on the floor. It's thrown back in by a Delta player trying to save it. He's underneath me. It was Bedwell. And it'll go to Mount Vernon. Delta makes a substitution, and the crowd goes crazy. It's Nate Sutherland in the game for the first time. Mount Vernon to work. Quick whistle, quick foul in the forecourt by Delta. And it might have been Sutherland. It is. Nate's in the game 5 seconds and picks up a foul. Common foul. 5th against Delta. Sideline inbounds play for Mount Vernon in the forward court. Gentry behind a screen. 3-pointer up too strong. Rebound by Bryan of Delta. Now he's tied up. It's knocked away and stolen away. Mount Vernon comes away with it. Marauders have it with under 30 seconds to go in the period, trailing by 18. Metters not on top. Drives to the key. Throws it away out of bounds. Trying to hit a shooter in the corner. He was trying to hit Ryan Morris, and he threw it away. 11 turnovers unofficially in the contest for Mount Vernon. Delta has yacked it up 5 times unofficially. They've got the ball. Delta does, with 20 seconds to go before the end of the period. Now backcourt trap defense being employed by Mount Vernon, and a quick whistle and timeout by Delta. We'll keep it right here with 14.7 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's Delta 46, Mount Vernon 28. Coach Mark Detweiler saw that his team was in a little trouble in the backcourt against that trap and called timeout to get things straightened out and remind his guys what they need to do against this defensive look by Mount Vernon. This has been all Delta all the way. The Eagles have led from start to the current point. We've never been tied. Mount Vernon hasn't come close to a lead. It's been a dominant performance through the first 3 quarters by the Eagles. Let's see if they can finish out the third quarter in style, leading 46-28. They'll inbound it, bring it 3 quarters of the court. Comes into Bedwell. Across the timeline with 10. Brings it near side, high post, feet underneath to the cutter. Bryan hits the good! Goal! Wow, what a move. What a great feed from Wilburn. And Bryan has his next bucket and his 21st point to make it 48-28. What a well-executed play. Bryan at the stripe. 1 out of 2 tonight. It's on the way and it's good. Nothing but net. We got a quick break-in play as Zach Garner checks in for Delta. And Bryan's going to take a quick breather. With 6.2 left on the clock, bringing it to full 84 is Mount Vernon. Quickly across the timeline, Hurd gets off to the wing. 3-pointer up, 3-pointer bank and good at the buzzer. Trying to get a number for you. Can't tell if that was Gentry. Wow. Not sure who hit that shot. At any rate, he never turned. I only saw his side. We're through 3 quarters in Delta's gym. It's Delta's game right now. The Eagles 49, the Mount Vernon Marauders 31 on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
We head to the fourth quarter here in Royerton. Delta out in front of Mount Vernon, 49-31. 20-13, the advantage in period number 3 for the Eagles. The number 3 team in 3A is putting on a clinic tonight at both ends of the floor. Mount Vernon with a big mountain to climb as they start the fourth period, inbounding the ball across the way, and it comes in to Keith Rupert, who will work the point again. Gentry on the wing. Now corner of the key to Rupert. Delta 3-2 zone on this trip matchup. Baseline pass. Now out on top to Gentry. He'll drive. Try to collect the foul. He does. Tough finish on a foul by Brady Hunt. Nice drive and goal by Gentry. Basket's going to count. 8 points in the game for Gentry, and he'll shoot a free throw. Foul on Hunt is his first, 6th on the team. So the southpaw, Cade Gentry, houses off the three-point play the old-fashioned way. He's a good-looking player. Hurd checks out for Mount Vernon. Delta gets it in the backcourt. No pressure this time, just a one-on-one matchup with the ball carrier. The point guard, Zach Garner, guarded closely by Rupert. Feed to Bryant. He'll drive it inside. Bounce pass. Turn. Fire. Up for Bedwell. No. But a whistle and a foul. Right here under me. I think it's going to be on Ryan Morris. It is Ryan Morris, and he has 2 fouls. 4th on the Marauders. Baseline inbound play. And send it out on top for Bryant. He drives the paint. Fires on the run. It won't go. Rebound fought for. It goes to Bedwell. He fires. Can't get it. Tipped on the rebound again, and this is going to be a loose ball foul against Delta on the battle for position and the ball in the paint. Good call. Josh Bryan picks up the foul. His second, and most importantly, that's the 7th Delta foul in the second half. So it's 1 and bonus time for Mount Vernon, and this is how you climb back into a big game. Remember that. 15-point game, 7:13 to go fourth quarter, but now it's going to be free throws. Metters went to the free throw line hoping to convince the official he should be the shooter. The official says, au contraire, Sonny. Instead, it's going to be Ryan Morris going to the stripe. 1 and 1. First one on the way. Good. Morris will get one more. That's his first point of the game. Next one, rattles out, no good. Rebound by Hunt. Here come the Eagles. 49-35 game. Hunt has it on the baseline. Fakes, fires, has it knocked out of his hands. Picks it up, feeds Wilburn. His three-pointer no good. Offensive rebound comes down to Bryan. His follow-up is no good, but he got fouled again, and he let the official know he didn't appreciate the first foul that he thought was committed against him. Personal foul is going to be on Cade Gentry. That's 2 on him. Free throws coming for Bryan. A 2-shot trip, and he nails the first. He'll get another. 22 points in the game for Bryan. 50-35. Next one good. 51-35. Bryan got both trips. He has an unofficial 23-point night going, and it's a 51-35 Delta lead with 6:45 to go in the game. Metters tries to reverse dribble, loses the handle. Gentry picked it up for him. Out on top to Bell, who will drive it to the paint. Scores over Hunt. Beautiful drive and finish for Brandon Bell. He has 7 in the game. Now backcourt pressure being shown by Mount Vernon. Eagles break it. They get it to the far wing. Hunt for three. Good! Brady Hunt hits the three. 12 in the game. They've got a whistle, and I believe Mark Detweiler is going to call a quick timeout, and he does. Hunt, 12 points in the game. We'll stay right here with it to make it 54-37. Wow. What a contest this has been. Arguably the two best teams in the league, throwing haymaker rights at each other. And, man, what a night. Long way to go. This one's not over yet. 6:18 left to play. Third timeout burned by Delta. Each team, by my count, has 2 timeouts remaining here in the ball game. Josh Bryan has had a fantastic game. He had 16 points at halftime. He has 23 now in the contest. It's been some kind of night for the kids from Royerton. They've got a commanding lead, and if they just play well the rest of the way, they're going to take over the solo league lead. Whoever wins this game will have it all by themselves, with 2 undefeated conference opponents going at it here at 4-0 for Mount Vernon, 3-0 for Delta. So here we go, all set to go. Coming off the 60-second timeout, Mount Vernon trying to save as much time as they can. They roll the ball in, and it rolls almost to midcourt before Rupert picks it up. Now to work in the forecourt. Dell has it, dribbling on the wing. Delta's still packing that zone in there. Metters out on top. Goes to the corner. Three-pointer up. Short, no good by Rupert. Battle for the rebound. Goes to the corner. It's saved back in by a Mount Vernon player, but Delta has it. Hunt driving all the way. He'll fire on the run, and he's down and okay, and he'll shoot free throws on an active shooting foul against Mount Vernon. Hunt gets a nice hand. We'll wait for the officials to signal the foul to the scorer's table. Looks like it's going to be Cade Gentry, his third, 6th on the Marauders. Active shooting foul will send Hunt to the stripe for a pair of freebies. He has 12 in the game, looking for his 13th. It's on the way, and it's good. Shoot another one. 3 out of 4 from the stripe tonight by Hunt. Fires. Next one is off the back iron, no good. Long rebound comes to Bell for the Marauders. He'll get it back in the forecourt now. Cross-court pass to Gentry. Down on the baseline, out of the wing. Bell, three-pointer, no. Rebound. Josh Bryan, he got fouled and no one called it. That's why the crowd groaned. That was a little bit lackadaisical. Bryan feeds underneath. Garner back outside. Greenberg for 3. Rattles off, no. Tipped out. Nice work on the glass by Mount Vernon. Gentry, long pass ahead to Bell. Bell out on top to Rupert. He'll try to feed the baseline. It's thrown away. Turnover by Mount Vernon. Foul in the backcourt as the Marauders try to steal the ball. Both teams are going to be in the bonus now. Ryan Morse picks up the 3rd foul for him, 7th for the Marauders. So with 5:10 left in the game, both teams now are in the 1 and bonus. And going to the stripe for Delta is Josh Greenberg. First one on the way. Rattles out, no good. Rebound Mount Vernon. Metters quickly into the forecourt. Drives it to the baseline. Cut off. Feeds Gentry. He'll drive it. Shoot. Can't get it. Nice work defensively by Hunt to force up a bad shot and then get the rebound. Garner brings it across the timeline. Feeds underneath. Wilburn fakes, fires. No good. Rebound tipped out. Ooh, collision as Gentry picks it up on a one-hop rebound and Hunt slams into him. Mark Detweiler walks toward me, taking off his glasses, shaking his head like, what were you doing? Coaches are never completely happy. Hunt picks up his second foul, and we go to the other end in a one and bonus opportunity for Cade Gentry. Hit his only free throw earlier tonight. This one on the way, and he hits it. He'll get one more. That's his 10th point in the game. Makes it 55-38. Still plenty of time. If you could just get to the line a lot, if you're Mount Vernon, you could get back in this. Next one on the way, rattles out, no good. Hunt has the rebound go off his hands, out of bounds. Miscue by Delta. It goes to Mount Vernon. Baseline inbounds play. Gentry to pass it in. He gets it in right under the basket. The shot up, no good that time, as Morris couldn't convert. Good stop for the Eagles. Delta ball with 4.5 minutes to go in the game, leading 55-38. Now a trap just inside the forecourt, but Bryan has no problem with it. He's got it back now from Wilburn. Guarded way out on top, and he has it knocked away by Gentry, and Gentry, laying on his tummy, tries to tap the ball back toward the court, and half his body was out of bounds. Good hustle by that young man. Gentry's a senior, playing his tail off for his team, having a nice night with a 10-point game and a lot of hustle. Officials take time out temporarily to try to mop up some of that sweat off this floor right in front of the Delta bench. 4:23 remaining in regulation. Delta 55, Mount Vernon 38. Third quarter scoring, by the way, was 20-13 Delta. They've won every quarter, and they are well on their way to winning here if they can just nail it down. Bedwell underneath, Banks fires, hits. Little Bunny, good for Bedwell. His fourth point, 57-38, halfway through the fourth quarter. Mount Vernon needs to hurry, and they're going to have to start turning to some threes. Gentry walked. Tried to drive it, didn't put it on the floor first. Fifth turnover of the second half unofficially by Mount Vernon, and 13 for him in the game, compared to only 6 all night by Delta. Now we've got an official's timeout, and I think Josh Bryan might have some kind of a cut. He's got some blood on his uniform shorts, and now not sure when he got cut. It could have been in one of those scrambles for the ball. He's going to have to come out of the game, and he's going to have to change at least his uniform shorts with 4:01 left in the game. So he'll probably make quick work of the tunnel here and put somebody else's shorts on. Seen that a few times, and go back in the game. As it is, he'll come out. So Delta will have Garner, Wilburn, Bedwell, Hunt, and you're going to have to sub in a fifth guy, and it's going to be Greenberg, who's at the scorer's table and now waved into the game. And Garner's going to come out during this stoppage in play, and you hear the crowd reacting because here comes Bryan with apparently somebody else's shorts on so that he can play a little more. But temporarily, Cox is going to go in the game. So forget that 5 I had for you a moment ago. It's Wilburn, Cox, Greenberg, Bedwell, and Hunt right now for Delta. Bryan waiting to get back into the Band-Aid brigade. Delta brings it the length of the floor. Backcourt pressure being applied by Mount Vernon. Cox has it. Now across the timeline. Bedwell pass on the run. Hunt has it in the forecourt. Now back out on top near the timeline to Cox. Way out on the wing to Bedwell. Drives out of a double team. Loses the handle at the corner of the key. Picks it up. Works it back out on top to Hunt. Looks like Delta's going to work some clock, and they've got a 6'5" point guard right now in Brady Hunt. Picks up his dribble, feeds underneath, throws it away, but it goes to another Delta player. It's Cox who picks up the garbage. Greenberg drives across the arc, picks up his dribble, gets it way back out on top to Bedwell as Delta eats a little clock here. Bedwell drives, cut off. Back to Greenberg on the wing. Greenberg feeds underneath, wide open, laid in. Tyler Wilburn with his 8th point of the game, 59-38. Delta leading with 3 minutes to go in the game. Here's a spin move inside. Metters forced it up, couldn't draw irons, off the backboard in the hands of Brady Hunt, and he gets fouled in the back court. It'll be free throw time for Mr. Hunt. Give the foul to Ryan Morris. 4 of them on him. 8 on the team. 1-1 for Brady Hunt. 1 and the bonus for the 6'5" sophomore. He strokes the first one good. His 14th point of the night to make it 60-38. Next one on the way. Beautiful arc, nice rotation, splash. 15 points for Hunt. He got them both to make it 61-38 with 2:55 to go in the game. Mount Vernon attacking. They need a bunch in a hurry. Can't get much going tonight offensively. Hurd has it for him out on top, guarded by Cox. Works it to the wing. They'll swing it now in the corner. Try to get something going. Now far corner. Looking to drive it on the baseline is Hurd. Cut off with good defense by Bedwell. Hurd still pounding air out of the ball. They're taking way too much time. When you're down this far, you got to get going. 61-38, 2.5 to go. You got to be urgent now. No matter what you want to do, you got to get going. Here's the baseline pass thrown away, but Bedwell. Gravity got him. His feet had to come down, and he stepped on the baseline. What can you do? Brady Hunt checks out of the game and gets a nice hand. That might be it for him tonight. Takes the bench with a 15-point night under his belt. And players are clearing the bench now for Mount Vernon as they try to run as many players in as possible. Wilburn checking out for Delta, getting a nice hand. Delta's going to go to the sub game as well. They run Dalen Case out there for the first time tonight. Final 2 and change of this one. Delta's going to win it going away. They lead 61-38. Mount Vernon trying to get something going, and now we know why they weren't anymore urgently attacking the basket. They are kind of waving the towel here with under 2 minutes to go in the game, and reserves in the contest now for the Marauders. Here's a move on the baseline. Shot fired up, rattles off, no good. It wouldn't go. I think that was Danny Laughlin. Rebound ahead. Eagles have the ball and 1:38 to kill, leading this one by a bunch, by 23. Wooden drives, works it back out to the corner. Case back to Wooden, now way back out near the timeline to Cox, who spins out of trouble. A nice job dribbling out of trouble. Feeds the baseline. Wooden back out on top. Greenberg looks at the clock, says we don't need a shot. We just need clock. And he's fouled out near the timeline with 1:16 to go. Delta fans appreciative. Foul on 44, I believe that's Danny Laughlin. Going to the stripe as Bedwell checks out is Josh Greenberg. Dead-eye shooter. First one good. His 6th point of the night. This is still 1 in bonus. He got them both. 7 points on the night for Greenberg. 63-38 with 1:09 to go. Delta's going to take sole control of the league race here with this win tonight. Depending on what New Pal does, 2 teams could be right behind him with a loss each. But Delta will have beaten both of them. Marauders go to work. Laughlin fires. Got net but didn't get rim. Rebound comes down to Wesley Wooden, who throws it too far down the floor for a turnover. That'll stop the clock with 43.5 seconds left in the game. This is going to be the 17th win in a row to start the year by Delta. Man, are they playing well. Mount Vernon, maybe their last possession of the night, looking to get something to go out here happy. And there's a give and go, a nice cut in the bucket that time to Evan Barr. You hear the crowd come to its feet for Delta. This one is all but over. There's a steal. Marauders have a fast break. They'll lay it up and in. Jacob Frank gets the bucket to make it 63-42. The final 10 seconds winding off. And Delta is going to just hold the ball, not take a shot. Sutherland has it in his hands. There's the buzzer, and this one's over. Delta wins for the 17th night in a row. The final score, Eagles 63, Marauders 42. Fantastic performance by the number 3 team in Indiana 3A basketball. We'll take a timeout as the handshake line forms. Good sportsmanship. Delta is going to the nest with another dub. Back with a post-game show after this timeout on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Who do I play high school softball for? I play for my mom and dad who've never missed a game.
Whether they're playing for their teammates, their classmates, or their community, high school student athletes in Indiana learn important lessons they'll use for the rest of their lives, like respect for the rules and the value of hard work and sacrifice. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. A crisp October evening, a stadium filled with fans, a pass-through, a journey completed. State of euphoria? No, the state of Indiana. High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community. The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Indiana high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
A wintry Friday night. A packed gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to a quickly emptying Delta High School. Eagle fans are going home happy again tonight for the 17th time in a row this year. The W being flown on the pole for the Delta Eagles. Terrific game tonight on both ends of the floor. Delta was sticky defensively and just a nightmare to guard offensively, and boy did they What did they play great? They were fantastic down the stretch, and I think Coach is going to come up. We'll take a quick break, set him up. Back after this on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. A wintry Friday night. A packed gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. A state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to Delta High School. Another victorious night for the number 3 Eagles as they pull away gradually all night and put away Mount Vernon by a final of 63-42. And Mark Detweiler, the coach from Delta, standing next to me. And always, coaches are never completely satisfied. I know that.
No, but I thought we executed well defensively. I thought we made good adjustments in our zone. We thought it was a team that we could zone, and we wanted to take away some gaps. We had to make some in-game adjustments, and I thought we did that, particularly in the second half. I thought we just closed down the lanes on them. Offensively, I felt like, we played through Josh, and, we do that. We get guys I thought cut well tonight. I thought our half-court offense was pretty sharp.
You go to the end of the first quarter, you're up 15-10. They get it down to 15-13, and then Josh Bryan hits 3 triples in a row and just kind of smacks them around there in the middle of the second quarter. That seemed to be a turning point in the game for you guys.
Yeah, he gets us some good runs going, and he's smart enough that when he doesn't have the ball, he screens well and gets guys open. And once he gets rolling, we try to get the ball in his hands. We have to move him around a lot, and sometimes we put him on the point, sometimes we put him on the post, and just try to find different spots where we can isolate him and make it tough to help. And, he does a good job of being patient in the offense.
When you and I talked before the game, you told me that you thought your guys had played just about as well as they played all year last night, and then they come into this game tonight. I got them only for 8 turnovers. You turned them over 13 times, if not more. You had a lot of deflections. You were really active defensively, and I think I've tweeted it before. I've said it before to some people. You guys get a lot of attention for your offensive ability, and rightfully so, but you guys are pretty doggone good in your team defense.
Yeah, and that's actually the word we used prior to the game was deflections, and that's why we kind of challenged them, how sharp will you be on a Saturday night? We'll know early, by the number of deflections that you get. And if we're alert and we have some awareness about us, then we'll get deflections, and that gets our offense going, and I thought we did that.
Where did you, in the second half, they kind of made a little run at you in the third quarter, but you guys came out really strong. You got some nice scoring from Josh Greenberg starting the third quarter. He had been quiet all night, and all of a sudden, boom, he scores the first 5 points of the second half for you and plays really well.
Yeah, and we actually challenged him this week, just kind of sat him down and said, hey, where you been? And that's kind of really all it took. He understood what we meant because I think he gets a little bit passive and defers. And we just said, hey, you got to play with that edge and assert yourself and let us know you're out there. And I thought last night he did, and tonight he did it again.
Unofficially, I've got Bryan for 24. I've got Greenberg for 7 all in the second half, 15 for Hunt. Bedwell played some nice minutes for you. A 3-point play off the bench from Wes Wooden for you. Zach Garner, Mr. Lockdown defender again. Got a field goal tonight.
Yeah, yes.
How about that? But he's one of your unsung guys. He does the things that don't show up in the line score or on max preps all the time.
Right.
But you couldn't win without him.
Oh, no, not without a doubt. I mean, he's what offense or defensively he makes us go. He gets stuck with guarding the opponent's best perimeter guy most nights, and he just does a phenomenal job. And then, you know, and then what he does for us, just initiating the offense and taking care of the ball. I mean, he's phenomenal.
Winning league championships is usually a team goal for just about everybody. And with this one, you take over sole possession of first in the league. You're 4-0 now in the league, and you're 17-0. This is the first 17-game winning streak of your coaching career. You had a 16-gamer at Union County. What's it feel like to be 17-0?
Well, you know, we're concerned about the next one. You know, we don't think about the ones 2 or 3 weeks ago. Obviously, you know, we're just trying to focus on what's in front of us, and we know we got a lot of things in front of us that we're still looking forward to do, and we got a lot of things we haven't achieved yet.
When you sit down and you break down this game and you look for all the little things, you self-scout, what do you think you need to be doing better right now? As well as you're playing, what do you need to do better?
You know, we talk constantly about, you know, we want to have 2 defenses that we feel like that we're really sharp with. And last night, the man, I thought we got better at our half-court man. And tonight, we really spent a lot of time in the zone. And so we got to continually focus on those 2 things. We want to be able to have both of those that we can lean on. And then we have to always stay on top of what our team's going to do to defend Josh Bryan. So, you know, we got to always spend practice time on what if we see this, and make sure that we're ready for those things.
Coming into this, why did you attack Mount Vernon with the zone instead of man? What was it about their offense that made you think if we go zone, we can really hurt these guys?
Well, they've got a couple guys that can just put the ball on the floor, you know, and get to the rim. And so we were concerned about that. And to be honest, we felt like it was their 3rd game of the week. It was our 3rd game of the week. You know, they played Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. We played Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. And, you know, they're on the road, and just kind of felt like maybe legs might be a factor as well.
Brian came out late in the game with a little blood, maybe a cut or something. Didn't look serious. Is he okay?
Oh yeah, just a little
flesh wound.
Yeah.
New laundry challenge tonight.
Yes,
getting the blood out. But it's good to know everybody came out of this relatively healthy. You're 17-0. You've won 3 games in 5 days?
Yes. Yeah.
And I know your kids are probably tired. You're probably tired. Your staff as well.
Yes.
Let me ask you one more thing. The fans tonight really brought it for you. This was about a 2/3 full house. Lower bowl was full.
Yeah.
They made a lot of noise for you.
Did.
They appreciated your offense and your defense, and they let them know it.
Yeah.
What does the crowd mean to the kids when they play here at home?
It means a ton. You know, I mean, just in terms of just the energy that they bring, and our guys feed off of that. We got some great students, you know, and our wrestlers just won their sectional today, and you know, I mean, we're seeing a lot of success across the board, and so, you know, you have a building full of kids that are involved in different activities. They want to be here, and it makes it fun. So they're each other's biggest fans.
Well, I'm going to let you go. You got better things to do than yak with me. But thanks for coming up.
Appreciate it.
Nice job tonight for your kids, and hey, get out of here and go to 18 the next time.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Mark Detweiler, the coach of the Delta Eagles. They win here tonight. Going home in style as they take this one by a final score of 63-42 in a game that was all Deltas. Let's recap it just briefly for you here. Delta led at the end of a quarter, 15-10. They expanded that lead at halftime to 29-18. At the end of 3, it was Delta 49, Mount Vernon 31. And at the end, 63-42. Delta wins in style here tonight to remain perfect in 2018-19. There's a banner at the opposite end of the floor here. 2002 boys basketball 3A state champions. That was the Paul Keller team. Don't know if this team will run the table. Don't know if they'll get to state, but they're making some noise. And at 17-0 and at 4-0 in the league, I wouldn't want to play them. They're pretty good. So that's going to do it. Quickly check the scoring for you. Bryan 24 for Delta unofficially. Garner 2, Wilburn 8, Greenberg 7, Hunt 15, Bedwell 4, Wooden 3, Cox, Sutherland, and Case played for the Eagles and did not score. And for Mount Vernon unofficially, we'll go right down the sheet. Brandon Bell 7, Keith Rupert with 4, Peyton Metters with 13, but only 4 in the second half. Cade Gentry scored a lot in the second half. He had 10 on the night. Max Burren started, didn't score. Ryan Morse started, scored a point. or rather came off the bench and scored a point. Eric Hurd off the bench, didn't score. Frank came on. Jacob Frank scored a pair in a mop-up duty for Mount Vernon. And the rest of the way, they had one other player get on the court and score. It was Evan Barr. And we had that 1 3-pointer scored at the end of the third quarter by Mount Vernon. I still can't tell you who scored it because by the time he got to the sideline, he was covered by people, couldn't get his number, and that'll be the phantom 3 points tonight for Mount Vernon. But the Marauders fought valiantly. They just faced a better team tonight, and the 3A Eagles of Delta go home with 17 dubs and no bagels on the season. That'll do it for us tonight. Final score for the final time here in Royerton, Mount Vernon 63, or rather Delta 63, Mount Vernon 42. It's been a long day. Delta 63, Mount Vernon 42. For all of us at Beaver Media, I'm Brian Beaver. Thanks for sticking around tonight. Check my Twitter feed at Delco Preps for plans for next week's broadcast and for the future. We're heading to the girls sectional next week, and the boys draw is just a couple weeks away. So for all of us at Beaver Media, appreciate you being along for the ride. Until next time, stay safe out there in the ice and snow and the dangerous cold next week. We want you back, and we'll see you next time on the Delco Preps channel. Good night, everybody.